get my 6. Guys, it is a gloriously beautiful fall morning here on the homestead. Just want to share the view with you. Oh, it's so gorgeous. It's like living in a Norman Rockwell painting. I love it. If I'm awake, I'm outside. I go in my house to sleep, and that's about it. Guys, we've got something going on here, and I'm going to attempt to get to the bottom of it today, and I'm going to take you along with me. If you've been following our channel for any amount of time, you know that we have a massive herd of free-range deer that pretty much resides on our homestead here. We've counted as many as 40 deer at one time. That's in the winter when they yard up in the winter. But we have 7 that have been regulars around here since spring. 3 adult does and 4 fawns, I think it is, or it's either 4 does and 3 fawns, something like that. They do this little loop. It's like a figure 8 across the various properties here. I haven't seen them in like 2 weeks. They're just gone. It's like they're just not here. And so I've got to thinking, has the potential Bigfoot Sasquatch that may or may not live in the woods up here behind my home decimated our entire herd of free-range deer? I don't know. You know, if these creatures exist, you know, they're said to be pretty big. I would imagine they would have a very big appetite, and 1 or 2 of them alone probably could take out 7 deer over the course of a couple of weeks worth of, you know, 3 square meals a day. So today, I'm going to run to the top of the mountain up here behind my house. I'm going to take you with me. And, you know, despite being pretty fit, despite having just this past weekend won my first 5K foot race in over 16 years, almost 20 years since I actually won one last, I'll probably need to stop and walk because it's straight uphill. And when I do, we're going to get some footage, and we're going to see what we may or may not see. And we're going to listen to see what we may or may not hear. And we might get to the bottom of this mystery of my disappeared herd of free-range deer. So lace up your running shoes, or I'll at least lace up mine, and let's hit the road. Okay, guys. Guys, let me tell you something that is real. I discovered it a long time ago, and I've talked about it a few times on this channel. And catch my breath. I actually haven't been running that long. I mean, I've run considerable distance back behind the homestead to get back up here where we may or may not have potential Bigfoot Sasquatch who's decimated our entire deer herd. And I'm going to tell you a really amazing story about what just happened. So, if you've been following the channel, you know, when we first bought our homestead, we had an issue with an annoying neighbor that we had to run off with a crayon after about 1.5 years worth of harassment. Met some other jerkish type people out here, passive aggressive gaslighter types, you know. And we just decided we didn't want to meet anybody else that lived out here because I guess got a first taste and our mouth was a very sour taste. So we've been out here for 4 years now, and we've intentionally gone out of our way not to meet people. Well, I'm jogging. I'm up here on this old country road behind our house. I see a hole of water, like a spring, and there's movement. There's actually fish in this. I don't know if you can see it in here. Just a little spring shooting up out of the side of the hill here, and there's fish in there. Isn't that amazing? The water here is so clean. Everything's so clean. While I'm running, I see 2 older gentlemen in their 70s talking. I could tell they lived there. So I stopped to just say hi, and I asked them about a particular road out here that I've never run up. I'm like, you know, I jog, I live around the corner, and I'm interested in jogging up that road, but I don't know if it's private or if it's a state route. And they told me, they said, well, you know, technically it is a state route, so if you wanted to, you could, but there's a couple people that live up there that might just be buttheads if they see you. And guys, it happens. I do not understand it. You out in rural Virginia, and people don't own the road if it's a state route. They own the property. I mean, actually, technically they own the property up to the middle of the road, but they cannot keep people from traveling on the road. But there's so many people that think they own the road. And if they see a jogger or a mountain biker out on the road and they're having a bad day, they might just share that bad day with that jogger or mountain biker. I don't want to be that guy. There's too many other places I can run because I don't want to have any problems with anybody. So I go out of my way to avoid it. So these guys did me a favor of sharing this information with me. And I said, okay, no big deal. I'll just keep going the way I do. Usually. But then we start talking. We start having a wonderful conversation. A few minutes later, these two women in their 60s show up. They're out walking, doing their morning walk. Then another woman shows up, and another woman. But basically, the long and short of it is, I just met like 7 of my neighbors, 7 people who live in very close proximity to me at once. Now, here's what the amazing thing is. Well, first of all, they all seemed like very wonderful people. I told them where I lived. I shared some of our experience we had with that jerk when we first moved in. They all rolled their eyes and told me, don't pay him, no, never mind. No one out here has anything to do with him. And they told me stories about that guy that would be inappropriate for me to share on this platform. So let me tell you, putting up a gate and keeping him out is the best and safest thing I've done for my family out here. It blew my mind what they told me about this guy. So anyway, it was good to get confirmation that I wasn't wrong in thinking this guy's not just a jerk, passive-aggressive sociopath type. He's dangerous. He is. So anyway, these people were not. They were wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Now here's the thing. I made a video about 10 days ago about strange howls. I see where they're coming from. I see the direction. Let me stop this. Let me jog up the road about 3/4 of a mile. Let's see if we can get better footage than that. Okay, guys, I've jogged up the road about another 3/4 of a mile. We should be right on top of where we heard those howls. Let's keep getting my 6. And we've been through here before. It's been a while. People have seen strange things in this very area in these videos. All right, now my point, back to meeting these folks. About 10 days or so ago, I made a video about how I'd done something very bad. My sixth sense right now is telling me there's someone or something in here with us. All right, made a video, done something very bad, taking steps to amend it. That was, I'd become so anti-social, I wouldn't even remember people's names. Like, and I did it for reasons of self-preservation when I had to. Not going to go back into that now. But, you know, we've been meeting some wonderful people lately. Some people who have been helping us out when we've been in a bind. Some people who have become true friends who have been there for us through good and through bad. No strings attached. And so I decided I'm going to start, even if I meet just somebody casually, maybe a friend of a friend, give that person the respect they deserve to remember their name. Okay? And so since I made that video, and I've gone back around some of these newer people we've met, I'm having a great time talking to them. This thought has been going on in my mind. You know, Crazy Lake, there are more good people out there than there are bad. Just, you met a jerk, you know, who harassed you because you wouldn't let him keep taking the hay being getting. Met a couple other jerks, you know. They're very one-dimensional people. We're not political people. We detest politics because it's something that divides. And these people kind of pinned us down and demanded to know where we stood on certain issues. And we told them, and it wasn't in line with their views, and so we saw their true colors. Well, we saw them before. And we decided, you know, we just really don't want to, and it wasn't because of their views, but we could tell they were passive-aggressive, one-dimensional, shallow types. One was a severe gaslighter. And so, fortunately, we have nothing to do with them. They have nothing to do with us. And so, and that was early on, once we first got out here, and we thought, you know, everybody sucks. Everybody sucks. We're not going to have anything to do with anybody else. That's not fair. It's not fair to everybody else in the world. And it's not fair to us as far as why should we be isolating because we had some bad experiences with some jerks when most of the people out there are not jerks. So those have been the thoughts going through my head here in the last 10 days or so. And I've even thought, I bet you more of the folks that live out here close to me are good than they are bad. And you can tell. I used to be a door-to-door salesman, sold stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and you learn to kind of like read the demographics of somebody inside the house based upon the outside and the yard and the lawn. When you see people who have well-maintained lawns, they take care of their property, tree limb falls, they get out there once they notice it and do those people have their crap together. And those would be people that we would be encouraged to prospect because they probably, if they're together, your yard's together, your car's clean, your house is clean, your finances are probably in pretty good order too. And so there was the potential to have an investor client there. But when you see places that looks like it's abandoned, even though somebody's living there, people don't care. They don't have enough self-respect to just keep their area clean. Everything's unorganized. Their entire life probably is unorganized. And we would be encouraged to skip those houses because it really wasn't. Very loud howl or growl. Now, what's my point to that? All these folks I met today, they were telling me where they live. I've been by their places so many times out here, jogging, mountain biking. I've seen some of them in their yards, and they've always waved and seemed friendly. But they got their crap together. They have class, they have taste, and they carry themselves well. And it was really wonderful talking to them and getting to know them just a little bit. Now, I'm not going to go out and try to become besties with any of them because I honestly, listen, you got friends, you got neighbors, and you got business associates. I don't think you should cross the three. You shouldn't interfere because you have a falling out with a neighbor, living beside each other for maybe the rest of your life. It could be a long time. In the past, I have brought friends into my businesses. You have a falling out, you don't just lose a business associate, you lose a friend. And, sometimes my wife will get excited and say, wouldn't it be great if those people over there sold their house and so-and-so moved in there, naming some of our friends? And I say, no, it wouldn't. And she's like, why not? We could live right beside them. I said, I know. And then too much of a good thing is not a good thing. It might hurt our friendship. And she's like, oh, yeah, I get that. So I'm not going to go try to become besties with all these people I met today. But it is wonderful knowing that now I recognize them, I see them, I can call them by name. They can call me by name. And it's nice knowing I'm not surrounded by a bunch of narcissistic, ego-inflated, passive-aggressive, manipulative, sociopathic, gaslighting jerks. There's only 2 households like that we've, dealt with. These other folks were wonderful people. So, I'm supposed to be up here looking for this potential Bigfoot Sasquatch that may or may not be living in the woods behind my home, that may or may not have decimated my free-range deer herd. And I'm out here getting to meet 7 of my neighbors and talking about, oh my gosh, I went way too far. I'm just out here like blah, 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 blah. I intended to run about 4 miles today. And I did run 4 miles today. Problem is, I forgot to turn around after 2 miles. So now I've got to run 4 miles to get home. I hate it when this happens. All right, guys, I got to wrap this up because I got a long way to get home. Guys, I used to say trust no one. I'm going to change that to, well, just don't trust everybody. But there's some really wonderful people out there. There's more good people in this world than bad. And I was blessed today to meet 7 more wonderful people. So make sure to check back with the channel this evening. I'm going to be telling another scary, creepy Halloween ghost story from October nights, 31 Tales for the Halloween season. I'll see you then. Thanks for being here with me for another episode of the PBS. The potential Bigfoot Sasquatch show.